Hey guys, so today we're making some delicious flaky peach hand pies. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the recipe. So I'm starting with 2.5 sticks of unsalted butter. Make sure your butter is cold. My butter has been in the freezer, so I'm just cutting it into some chunks, or you could grate your butter if it is frozen, or you can use your butter that's in the refrigerator. Just make sure it stays cold. Don't take it out until you're ready to use it. And so I'm going to add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, and this is going to be our dry ingredients. This is a really simple pastry recipe that I got from the stay-at-home chef. It's the same recipe that I use for the apple hand pies, which I have a video for. If you want to check that out, I will link it below. And so I'm just adding my cold butter to my dry ingredients, and I'm going to use my pastry cutter to cut the butter into this flour, or you can use a fork, or you can use your hands. Just make sure you don't do it too much, because you don't want to melt the flour. You don't want to melt the butter. The butter is going to help our dough be nice and flaky, and it's going to be nice and buttery, y'all. It is so delicious. And so right here, I have 1/4 cup of vodka. Yes, vodka. And 1/4 cup of cold water. And you want everything to be cold, you guys. And so you're not going to taste the vodka. No worries. And so you're going to add the water a little bit at a time, because you don't want to make it too mushy, and it is going to kind of still be crumbly like this. And you're just going to form all of that together into a nice little ball or disc, and you're going to chill it in your refrigerator for about an hour. But I did mine overnight, and I find that dough is just easier to work with after it's been sitting in the refrigerator for quite some time. And so I'm just going to wrap it in some plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. And so next we're going to prepare our peach filling. And so I have 5 fresh peaches here. I believe you could use some canned peaches if you want. I would just say drain the liquid off of them. And so I'm just peeling the skin off of these peaches, and then I am going to chop them into bite-sized pieces for our peach hand pies. Y'all, I was so excited to make this recipe because, this really tasted like a peach cobbler in the form of a hand pie. It's like kind of like the same flavors with the cinnamon and the brown sugar. Like, this was super good. And you could fry these. I've seen these typically fried, but I put mine in the oven because I'm trying to be a little healthy. But no, I just found it easier to just put it in the oven, and it tastes really good, you guys. And the dough is really flaky and buttery, and this was like delectable. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's good. Y'all should definitely try this recipe. So next we're going to cook our peach filling, and I forgot to add my butter before I put in the peaches, but that's okay. So I put my peaches in, and then I put in maybe like 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And this is actually dark brown sugar, but you can use the light brown sugar. I just used what I had. And so I put in a few tablespoons of butter, because butter makes everything taste delicious. And so next I'm going to add in some cinnamon. I don't know how much cinnamon I put in there, just until I thought it was enough. And then literally like a pinch of nutmeg, because I don't want too much of that in there. And so you're going to stir this up, and you want the peaches to get nice and tender. And so I added in some vanilla extract, and then right here I am just using a spatula to mash up a few of them. I don't want it to be like mashed peach hand pies, but I didn't want all to be chunks. And so don't forget fresh lemon juice. This is going to brighten this up quite a bit, and it's going to be so delicious. So I used the juice of 1 lemon, and then now I'm going to add in a cornstarch slurry just to thicken up our filling, because you don't want this running all out of your hand pies, and I am good for overstuffing a hand pie, okay? And so this is our dough, and I am just cutting it into smaller pieces so that I can roll it out for our hand pies. And don't be intimidated by making your own dough. If it becomes too much, you can certainly use the dough from the stores. No worry, guys. No worries. Okay. And so I am just using my rolling pin to form this into a small little, it's supposed to be a circle, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna trim it to make it into the shape that I want. And so you're gonna put your peach filling inside of the dough. Make sure that you let your filling cool down, because you do not want no hot dough, not hot dough. You don't want your hot filling put it into this raw dough. You want it to be cool so that it's easier to work with and you're not like melting the butter and stuff. And so I just used a pizza cutter to trim off the excess, and then I am going to seal the edges of our pie with a fork. And so I'm just going to continue to do that with the rest of my hand pies. And I want to say this maybe I got about eight or 9 hand pies out of this recipe. I probably could have got 10 if I had, made them into a nice uniform shape, but it is what it is. I got about 8 of them out of this. And so you're just going to continue to pinch the sides. And I tried my best not to overstuff them this time, because if you saw my other apple hand pie video, it was busting at the seams. And so a little bit did come out, but it wasn't as overfilled as the last time. And be sure to cut a few slits into your dough so that the steam can escape. And before you put it in your oven, you are going to brush it with an egg wash, and this is going to help it to brown up nicely. And I put it in a 350 degree oven. I'll put the ingredients and the instructions in the description box below, because I need to double check the time. It actually might have been 375, but anyway, you're going to put that in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And next, I am just making a quick little icing for our hand pies. And so I'm using some powdered sugar, some vanilla extract, and some orange juice because I didn't have any milk. So I just used what I had in my refrigerator, which was orange juice, and it tastes really delicious. It didn't take away from the peach flavor at all. And so I'm just going to continue to mix this until the consistency is kind of thick, because you don't want it running off of your hand pies. And make sure your pies are nice and cool before you put your icing on it. And this is the finished product, you guys. These were super delicious. They are handheld, so you can take this and eat it on the go. Okay, this is like a peach cobbler to go. And look how flaky this dough is, y'all. Oh my goodness, it's so flaky and buttery. I promise you, this is delicious. Okay, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. See you next time. Bye.